It's the battle that's going to determine the overall leader in the Mid-Suburban League North. We are from from Fremd High School in Palatine, Illinois, as the undefeated and 6-0 Barrington Broncos take on the undefeated and also 6-0 Fremd Vikings. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fremd High School. Once again, this is Lee Anderson with Roger Simpson. Roger, this is going to be a battle, as I mentioned. It's going to determine the team that's going to have the lead in the Mid-Suburban League North. Starting off with the visiting Barrington Broncos. They were victorious in their first two games, knocking off Palatine by a point, 9-8, and Jeff Heklinski. And last week they were very impressive in their win, 29-11 over Buffalo Grove. What has been their keys overall in their perfect 6 wins thus far, would you say?
Lee, I had an opportunity to see this Barrington team second game of the season, and I was actually not that impressed by their size, but quite frankly, they are an extremely quick team. They're very solid at every position, extremely well balanced. This is a team that's had 3 shutouts this year on defense and given up only 29 points. A key for them tonight will, of course, to keep up the high intensity level of defense. Offensively, look for, of course, their big receiver, Paul Trudeau, but also look for their quarterback, Pat Jensen, to effectively run the option along with Jim McLaughlin and Joe Frederick. Also, I also don't want to overlook that they have an excellent place kicker in Eric Wiskus. He holds the school record for Barrington for 6 field goals this year.
Do you think there was a motivational factor? Last year, Barrington got off to a blazing 5-0 start, and then they missed the state playoffs by losing their last 4 games. Was there more motivation coming into this year, knowing that, hey, if they get one more win, right now they got 6 wins, that they could ultimately be in the state playoffs?
Absolutely. I mean, the key is postseason play. That's where you always want to get. The revenge factor is certainly going to play a factor this evening, and I couldn't agree with you more.
Fremd on the other side, they won last week over a good Wheeling team. They trailed at halftime 14-13. They won that game scoring 19 unanswered points in the second half to win by 18, 32-14. Heading into tonight's game, on the other side, what are Coach Joe Samo-Jedney's concerned as the Fremd coach?
Well, again, as I said before, the team is very quick. They're very well balanced. They're solid in every position. Last week, Fremd got off to a somewhat shaky start in their first half. They were down, in fact, 14-13 at the half, but you give credit to Rob Mackey and the rest of the offense for stepping up the intensity level, coming back, and winning the game for them. Of course, defensively, what can we say about Fremd? Again, they are a defensive powerhouse. They've only given up 42 points this year as well. It is really going to be a defensive struggle, but I think it's going to be a great ball game.
What do you see if there's an edge for either team? What would it be? Obviously, it's going to be cold this evening. Is that going to be a big deal tonight?
Well, last year, Barrington beat this Fremd team 27-14. So what we're talking about is the revenge factor. We're also talking about home field advantage. And with these girls right here cheering for their team, quite frankly, I don't know how this Fremd team is going to lose tonight, Lee.
Mobbed by the Fremd cheerleading squad, the pom-poms will be performing. The pom-pom squad, I should say, will be performing at halftime. We will have tonight's opening lineups and then the kickoff in this battle that will determine first place in the Mid-Suburban League North. Right after this timeout, it's Barrington versus Fremd on the Continental Cablevision Football Game of the Week. Stay tuned, folks.
Hi, I'm Pat Smarko, the host of Through the Wire here on Continental Cablevision, reminding you that on October 20th, we're going to be welcoming back psychic Mel Dorr. We had him on our show once before, and the response from
6-0 and 2-0 in the Mid-Suburban League North Conference. And also the Fremd Vikings, they're a perfect 6-0 and also 2-0 in conference play. As we mentioned in the pregame, Barrington won their first 5 games of the year. They lost their last 4 to miss the playoffs. Conversely, this year, they've won their first 6, and regardless of what happens the remainder of the year, they should be well in line to make the state playoffs this year. Other games this evening, in fact, there is just one game, and that is in the Mid-Suburban League South Conference, where it'll be Prospect at Rolling Meadows. Both teams not only looking for their first win in the South Conference, but also their first win overall. Tomorrow in the Mid-Suburban League South Conference, it'll be Conant at Schaumburg. Conant at 4-2 and 2-0 in the MSL South. Schaumburg looking for their first victory overall this year. It'll also be Elk Grove. They are 2-0 in conference play, 3-3 overall, and they'll be at Hoffman Estates at 4-2 and 2-0. Tonight's starting lineups, first of all, the team that'll be the Barrington Broncos. Their offensive line looks like this. It'll be Dustin Murgo, also left tackle, and we will set the rest of the lineup. The quarterback is Patrick Jensen, tailback McLaughlin, the fullback is Frederick, and the receivers Smith and Cox. For Fremd defensively, Lazowski, Frazen, Gianconteri, Heinzel, Ross, Cordova, Barton, and Mangelli. The secondary for Fremd, Farrell is the safety, and Lovell and Palmer, they are the cornerbacks. We will set the lineups offensively for Fremd, and then Barrington defensively when they get the ball. Quickly going back to the Fremd offensive line, as I was saying, Murgo is the left tackle, Kevin Peterson is the right tackle, the left guard is Jeff Laboda, and the right guard is Steve McWilliams. The center is Ryan Archibald, the split end is Todd Smith, and the flanker is Bill Cox. And Roger, it should be, as we were saying in the pregame, a whale of a ball game.
Absolutely. Boy, the folks are getting charged up. The fans are charged. Pom-pom girls. But I see over on the Barrington side, they have a nice crowd on hand, too.
We should have temperatures. This, by far, will be our coldest game of the year. Temperatures by probably game's end will be either in the high 30s, or check that, low 30s or high 20s. I was saying other games this evening prior to the starting lineups. In the Mid-Suburban League North, in addition to tonight's Fremd-Barrington game, the other two games in the MSL North, they will be both played tomorrow. Buffalo Grove at 2-4 and 0-2, and most likely they are undoubtedly out of the playoffs, as the Bison, they were in the playoffs last year, made it to the quarterfinals in Class 6A before losing to Loyola. They will host Hersey. Hersey in line for a possible playoff spot. The Huskies are 4-2 and 1-1, fresh off their 1-point overtime win a week ago over Jeff Eklinski and Palatine, 15-14. Palatine also tomorrow at 4-2, but they are 0-2 in the MSL North. They have lost 2 1-point games in a row. They will host a pretty good Wheeling club. The Wildcats check in with a mark of 4-2 and 1-1.
That Palatine club is going to have to do a little personality check. They have to dig down for something this week.
Certainly, it's not only tough to win one game, or lose one game by 1 point, but then to lose back-to-back games by 1 point where you frankly could have won both games. That's something that's certainly very difficult to do. I don't care at what level you're at, pro, college, or high school. Barrington, as we mentioned, they will get the ball first. Bill Bay is back, number 24, along with Jim McLaughlin. Bay has had a great year this year defensively. He has 4 interceptions. And checking McLaughlin's stats offensively, so far this year, McLaughlin has run 92 times for 473 yards and 6 touchdowns. Here is the kickoff by Fremd's Barton. Bounces at the 22-yard line, taken by number 35 out over to the 30. Goes past the 35-yard line before he is brought down at about the 36, and that was number 35, Patrick Olson. Olson with a 14-yard return off the kickoff. So Barrington will set up shop first. The ball is at their own, as I mentioned, 36-yard line. First down and 10. Patrick Jensen is their quarterback. Last week in their win over Buffalo Grove, he was 6 for 12 for 105 yards and 1 touchdown. His running backs, Frederick and McLaughlin. In motion, the tight end going to the opposite side of the field, Trudeau. Here's the first play from scrimmage. Hand off to McLaughlin. He's out over the 35 and is brought down at about the 39 after a pickup of 3. He was brought down by one of the outside linebackers, number 28, Richard Cordova, a gain of 3.
That straight off tackle from the I formation is something that we might not be seeing that often tonight, Lee.
Second down and 7 for the Broncos. The ball at their own 39-yard line. Smith, the receiver, to the near side of the field. Cox, the flanker, to the far side of the field. Barrington wearing their white uniforms with black pants and red numbers. Here's the option play, and on the keeper out over the 40-yard line is Jensen before he is brought down after a 2-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and about 5 for Barrington. Patrick Jensen, the quarterback, just a junior. Frederick is fullback, and McLaughlin is tailback. They are both seniors. Last week, McLaughlin ran for a couple of touchdowns. He had 63 yards and 14 carries in Barrington's win over Buffalo Grove, 29-11. Could we see pass on 3rd and 5 for Barrington? The ball out over their 40-yard line. On the option play, Jensen's going to keep it, and he's brought down by Barton, the inside linebacker. No gain for Jensen. It'll be 4th and 5. and Barrington 3 plays, and they'll have to boot it away.
Well, they defense the option perfectly there. You can bet that this Fremd defense practiced a lot against the option this week.
Punting will be Eric Whisks. He's standing at his 29-yard line. Fremd going to get the ball for the first time in this game. We're also joined in this contest by George Bliss, and we'll hear from him throughout the game. Ball takes a bounce. It appeared to hit a player. It might have been Fremd's player. The ball's recovered near the Fremd 35-yard line. The fans appeared to feel that in fact, it will bounce off one of the Fremd players. I believe it was number 12, James Farrell, and the first crucial turnover of the ball game. Instead of Fremd getting it for the first time, Barrington punts it and gets it back right away, right near the Fremd 35-yard line.
What you had there was a short kick and a couple of players contacting one another, anticipating a run back. They didn't even see the ball hit them.
Barrington gets the ball right away again, following that punt. And I believe it was hit off of the arm of James Farrell, number 12 of Fremd. 1st and 10 Broncos, ball near the 35 of Fremd. On the option, Jensen has it, and he is hit hard at the 31-yard line. After a pickup of 4, it'll be 2nd and 6, and he was hit by the man that it appeared that had the ball hit him on that punt, the safety, James Farrell. 2nd down and 6 for Barrington, the ball at the Fremd 31-yard line. The winner of this game has the outright lead in the Mid-Suburban League North Conference. Both teams 2-0 in conference play, and they are 6-0 overall on the year. Smith to the near side of the field, Cox to the far side of the field. Handoff to McLaughlin, and he is drilled at the 30-yard line after only a 1-yard pickup. On again with the tackle was the safety, James Farrell, after a short gain by McLaughlin. It's going to set up for the 2nd straight series, 3rd and 5 for Barrington. Boy, both teams, Roger, have had great years defensively, haven't they?
Absolutely. 42 points given up by Fremd and only 29 given up by Barrington. 3 shutouts to go with that as well.
3rd down and just about 5 for Barrington. Ball inside the Fremd 30-yard line. I formation, Frederick and McLaughlin in the backfield. 2 receivers, Cox and Smith to the near side of the field. Handoff up the middle, and getting maybe a yard to the 29-yard line is McLaughlin, and that's about it. It's going to be 4th down and about 4. And Barrington, their offense is trotting off the field.
I think we're going to see this Eric Whiskas come out here and try a field goal. See if he can hit number 7 on the year for him.
Okay, it's going to be marked at about the 36-yard line. Boy, it's going to be a long kick of 46 yards by number 89, Eric Whisks. Barrington trying to draw blood first in this game. Here's the snap and the boot. It appears to have the distance, but I believe it is shanked just off to the left. Field goal missed by Whisks. He certainly put a lot of foot into that, had the distance as I mentioned, but it went to the left, and it still remains a scoreless battle with Fremd coming to bat, if you will, the first time in this ball game offensively.
I'm surprised to not see Barrington throw a pass in that first, or I should say their second possession after the ball was recovered after the punt. When I saw this team earlier, they went to their big receiver Trudeau early in the game often. He's 6'4" and 215, provides a big target.
We'll set the lineup both offensively for Fremd and defensively for Barrington right after this initial play of the drive. Duran Bursa hands it off to the ball carrier up the middle for a short gainer of about 1 yard. That was Keith Lazowski. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Offensively for Fremd, their quarterback is Duran Bursa. The fullback is Keith Lazowski, and also the tailback is Rob Mackey. The tight end is Michael Mangan, number 88. And the split end, James Farrell, number 12. Also, the other split end is number 81, Mike Kelly. And we will set the offensive lineup for Fremd after this next play on 2nd down and 9. Darren Bursa, the quarterback, number 6, 5'9", 160, and a senior. Bursa has it on the keeper, out over the 20, and he is hit hard after he bulldozes his way over the 25-yard line to the 26. A pickup of 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 for Fremd. 3rd and 4 now for Fremd. Duran Bursa last week in Fremd's win. He had a great ball game. He was 13 for 15 for 170 yards. He had 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Here's the lineups for Fremd. The left tackle Bruick, left guard Jean Canteri, the center is Crawford, Brown and Frazen are the on the right side. The quarterback is Bursa, fullback Lazowski, tailback Mackey, and on the next play on 3rd down and 4 we have a penalty flag. As I mentioned, the split ends are Kelly and Farrell. The tight end number 88, Michael Mangan. It's going to be a penalty against the Vikings. That'll be 5 yards against Fremd. It'll make it now, instead of 3rd and 4, 3rd down and 9. Defensively, we will momentarily show you the Barrington Broncos side of things. Last week, Rob Mackey, number 32, the tailback, carried the ball 15 times for 108 yards, and he had 4 touchdowns in that 32-14 win by Fremd at Wheeling. 3rd and 9 for the Vikings at their own 21-yard line, and we're going to have another penalty, and I believe that one's going to go on the other side against Barrington. It was 3rd and 9, and now it's going to be a penalty against Barrington. It's going to be encroachment against the Broncos. So in other words, there were 2 penalties that really didn't accomplish nothing. It was encroachment against Fremd, backed the Vikings up 5 yards, and it was an encroachment defensively against Barrington, and then it pushed Fremd up 5 yards. So we're exactly where we were a couple of minutes ago. 3rd down and 4 for Fremd. The ball at their own 26-yard line. Farrell and now Mackey, they are to the near side of the, or to the far side of the field. Check that. Lazowski, the sole runner in the backfield. Hand off to Lazowski. He plows his way forward to about the 29-yard line, and I believe he's going to be about 1 yard short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and 1. Defensively, for the Barrington Broncos, Parmenter, Carbonara, Olson, Donovan, Villers, Johnson, and Butts, the defensive line and the linebackers. The secondary, the safety, the strong safety is Thomas, the free safety is Soltese, and the cornerbacks are Bay and Waters. On to punt for Fremd now on 4th down and about 1 is Chris Barton standing at his own 15-yard line. High snap, and here's the boot by Barton, end over end, taken at the 41-yard line, and that was Bill Bay, number 24, and he was hit immediately by number 28, Richard Cordova, making a fine play on the special teams.
Well, Bill Bay made a great play there. He's had man all over him, but obviously he's got some pretty sure hands. He's got 4 interceptions so far this year.
1st down and 10 now, Barrington. As that was Kit Butts. As the Broncos have it on their own 41-yard line. I formation in the backfield, Frederick and McLaughlin. Under center now, as it's given to McLaughlin. He's still on his feet, out over the 45, and before he's brought down at midfield, a pickup of 9. Patrick Jensen handing off to his senior tailback, Jim McLaughlin. He's 6 foot, 170 pounds, and a senior.
He's having a great year too, Lee. You know, he's averaging close to 5 yards per carry.
He also, as I mentioned a short time ago, has 6 touchdowns this year. 2nd down and a short 1 for Barrington. Ball at midfield. To the far side of the field now is Todd Smith. And now into the game is number 6, Christos Bravos. Back to pass, and it wide open, and it's going to go for a touchdown to the tight end, Trudeau.
What I tell you, Lee, there's that big target. 6'4", 215, Paul Trudeau. Having a hell of a year.
Paul Trudeau on 2nd down and 1. Might have been a bit of a surprise against Fremd defensively, as Paul Trudeau was open down the left sidelines. We're going to get a replay look at that for a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it looks like they got a little man-on-man coverage there, and at his height, you just can't have one man on him.
The ball was caught at about the 25-yard line as the defender for Fremd gambled, and all there was green grass and the first touchdown of the ball game. Wiskus now on for the extra point with 3:26 remaining in the first quarter. The snap and the kick is perfect, splitting the uprights, and Barrington has the first lead in this ball game with 3:26, as I mentioned, remaining in the first quarter. It's the Barrington Broncos 7 and the Fremd Vikings nothing. 50-yard touchdown reception by Paul Trudeau. And checking, as you see, the fans in this ball game on the Barrington side of things.
Well, that's got to give Pat Jensen a tremendous boost of confidence. First pass completed for a touchdown and a lot of yards.
Trudeau coming into this game, he had 8 receptions for, get this, 222 yards and 3 of those touchdowns. So when you look at it, of those 8 catches, they're averaging out to be nearly 28 yards per catch. That's 27.8. And case in point, another big catch by Trudeau, this one from 50 yards. That's going to boost his catch average a little bit higher.
Now let's see what the Fremd Vikings can do here.
Wiskus, the man who just kicked the extra point. The ball marked at the 40-yard line, and here's the boot following the touchdown. Ball taken at about the 13-yard line, out over the 20, out over the 30 now, and brought down at the 31-yard line is number 26, David Rosk. An 18-yard return on the kickoff return. Tackle made by number 22, Rick Waters of Barrington. Fremd now trailing 7-0 with 3:20 remaining in the first quarter. Has their second possession of the ball game. Last time they had the possession, it was 3 plays and punt. Ball now marked out over their 30-yard line at the 31-yard line. Along with Roger Simpson, I'm Lee Anderson. Hope you're enjoying this big battle in the Mid-Suburban League North. We also have George Bliss with us this evening, my great friend from the softball hotline. He'll be on with some interviews during the game. On 1st and 10, back to pass is Bursa. Looked like he was going to Mike Kelly, but that ball was well overthrown.
Yeah, I think there was a misran route there. Either that or a misthrown ball, one or the other. But there was not a receiver anywhere near that ball.
Bursa coming into this game was 38 for 64 passing for 593 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
We're going to get another look at this, Lee. Well, no, we're not.
Second down and now 10 for the Vikings. The ball at their own 31-yard line. Mackey now to the near side of the field and Farrell to the far side of the field. Handoff to number 34, Jimmy Mitchell. Mitchell goes left side over the 35-yard line before he's brought down at about the 37. A pickup of 6 as we're going to get a replay on that overthrown ball on the last play by Bursa, the quarterback. It appeared that he
that was a certainly it looked like a misthrown ball.
It appeared that Kelly wasn't planning on running that far. He stopped near midfield. 3rd down and 4 now for Fremd. The ball at their own 37-yard line. Mackey and Mitchell in the backfield. 2 receivers at the near side of the field. Bursa now rolling right. He throws and it's complete to Kelly down the right sidelines into Barrington territory. Still on his feet before he's pushed out of bounds by Bill Bay, the cornerback. But not before a first down for Fremd.
No mistake about that route or that pass.
That completion goes to the Barrington 36-yard line. That was a pickup of 27 yards and a first down for the Vikings. We have Richie Schwartz once again in the press box with us. The man who goes to Buffalo Grove High School was on board with us last week doing stats for us once again this week. 1st and 10 for Fremd at the Barrington 36. Handoff straight up the middle, that is, to Mitchell. He's inside the 35 of Barrington before he's knocked down at the 34 after about a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 8. Let's go down now to our colleague on the sidelines, George Bliss, my friend. Take it away, pal.
On the sideline, as you can see, the starting offensive center for the Fremd team, Craig Crawford, has taken a big shot to his leg, and he's on the sideline here with a ton of ice on his knee, and we hope he can get back in real quickly because their starting offensive center is a key player. Back up to you in the booth.
2nd down and 8. Bursa now completes it to Kelly as we're back to live action. He's inside the 20-yard line before he's brought down out of bounds on the left sidelines at about the Barrington 15-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 19 yards and another first down for Fremd. We're going to get a look on that 19-yard completion from Bursa to Kelly.
Got Kelly out to the left side here, and Hey, it looks like they're playing zone defense, and they're getting all kinds of room over there.
Fremd now threatening to score here late in the first quarter with 1:20 remaining. Barrington with the early lead over the Fremd Vikings, 7-0. Bursa now on the inside move from the near side of the field, now up the middle. The handoff was given to the split end, number 37, Rusty Mann. He's inside the 15, brought down at about the 12, a pickup of 3.
Boy, for us talking about what a defensive struggle this was going to be, that both teams seem to be moving the ball pretty well.
There you look at the Barrington Broncos fans. Their team leads right now 7-0, but that is in jeopardy as Fremd has the ball, 2nd down and 7 at the Barrington 12. Boy, George looks dapper down there this evening, doesn't he, Roger?
Oh, he looks marvelous. But doesn't he always look marvelous?
Movement, it appeared on the Barrington defensive line, and we'll wait and see. We'll set the officials for you. The referee is Tom Tolman. As Tom now making the call, and it's going to be a penalty against the Broncos, 5 yards. That'll back up Barrington inside their 10-yard line down to the 7. It's going to be 2nd down now and 2 for Fremd. The head linesman is Everett Worth. The umpire, Gene Hasley. The line judge is Colin Grieg. And the back judge is Mike Briggs. 2nd down and now a short 2 for Fremd. The ball at the Barrington 7-yard line. Mann and now Farrell to the near side of the field. On the keeper is Bursa. He's inside the 5 and brought down at about the 3. Maybe even closer than that, perhaps the 2. We'll wait and see where Tom Tolman, our referee, marks the ball, but nevertheless, it is a 1st down for the Vikings. In fact, 1st and goal. Call it the Barrington 3-yard line, a pickup of 4 yards.
Coach Al Cameron, coming into this game for Barrington, said they really didn't want to change a whole lot. I mean, they are having a fine season. But one thing he wanted to do was eliminate the mental mistakes. And again, penalties are mental mistakes. I know he's not going to be happy about that encroachment penalty.
1st and goal now for the Vikings. Now in the game is Evan Rijopoulos, number 40. He's in the backfield now as the ball's given to Mackey.
Oh.
He is drilled. What a great play defensively at about the 4-yard line. And that was by the cornerback coming in from his position, Rick Waters, to put a lick on Mackey.
Boy, did he put a hit on him.
That was a loss of 1 back to the 4-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal for Fremd. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Fremd High School. With the score, the Barrington Broncos 7 and the Fremd Vikings nothing. It'll be 2nd down and goal for Fremd. The ball at the Barrington 4-yard line. Recapping the scoring in the first quarter, Paul Trudeau caught a 50-yard touchdown pass, the tight end for Barrington, with 3:26 remaining in the first quarter. That was from quarterback Patrick Jensen, and that gave Barrington an early 7-0 lead, but now Fremd is knocking on the door here at the 4-yard line on 2nd and goal as we are moments away from the start of the second quarter. Sports File comes up this Monday night at 6 p.m. live here on Continental Cablevision's LOTV Channel 13. Join me, Lee Anderson, every Monday night, and we do take your phone calls right here on Channel 13.
Talking about scoring, this game could easily be 10-0 anytime you got Eric Wiskus kicking the ball for you. He certainly had the distance on that 46-yard attempt, I believe it was.
In fact, it was 46 yards. He had the distance on that boot, but it just went to the left. 2nd down now and goal for Fremd. The ball at the Barrington 4-yard line. Lazowski, Mackey, and Rijopoulos in the backfield. Under center now is Bursa. Hands it off left side to Mackey. He smells the end zone. Touchdown.
That's a great call right there, Lee. You get the power sweep, student body left. You get a lot of opportunity to get out to the long side, look for the hole. In this instance, the hole happened to be all the way to the outside. With the foot speed, Rob Mackey was able to get into the end zone.
A 4-yard touchdown run by Rob Mackey, and we are an extra point away from a 7-all tie with 5 seconds into the second quarter. That's the 5th touchdown going back to last week. Thus far, Mackey with the lone touchdown in this game as Barton is on for the extra point. He had 4 in last week's win for Fremd over Wheeling. Here's the snap and the boot, and it is perfect by Barton. And we are tied with 11:55 remaining in the second quarter. It's a 7-7 ball game, and certainly it's off to the start that we expected between, Roger, two 6-0 teams.
Well, I was going to say it's off to the start in that it's competitive and it's close, but I don't know. I didn't expect to see this much offense, quite frankly.
There you see on the monitor, it's Barrington 7 and Fremd 7. Our next game will be a week from this Saturday. We will be at Buffalo Grove High School, as we'll see once again Jeff Heklinski. Boy, they certainly had their tough luck in the last two games, losing last week to Hersey in overtime 15-14. And then a couple of weeks ago, they lost to this Barrington team by 1 point in that game 9-8. And they will be at Buffalo Grove, and those two teams were perhaps the two best teams in the Mid-Suburban League North last year. And the last time we saw Palatine, it was a much easier road as they knocked off Prospect convincingly 63-15.
And they're going to have to do a little character check, that team from Palatine. They want to get themselves involved in the postseason play. That's what they'll have to do now.
Chris Barton, the man who just made the extra point, will be doing the kickoff for Fremd. We're tied at 7 early in the second quarter. Here's the snap and the boot. Taken at the 18-yard line by McLaughlin. McLaughlin still on his feet, gets to the outside, and he's brought down at about the 30 by a very fired up number 24, John Olias. It was about a 12-yard kickoff return by McLaughlin. So Barrington will start 1st and 10, ball at their 30-yard line. Trying to break this tie once again at 7 apiece with 11:47 until the intermission. 1st down and 10 for Barrington. Their quarterback, Patrick Jensen. In the backfield, Frederick and McLaughlin. Frederick, the ball carrier, gets just over the 30-yard line to about the 31, and that's all, a pickup of just 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Early stats for you. McLaughlin has 4 carries for Barrington for 15 yards. Jensen, the quarterback, has 3 carries for 6 yards. Paul Trudeau has caught the lone pass of the game. It was a touchdown from Jensen from some 50 yards at midfield. 2nd down and 9 now for Barrington, the ball at their 31-yard line. Smith now to the far side of the field, and Bravos to the near side of the field. Up the middle once again for a short gain out over the 30-yard line. Brought down at about the 32-yard line after a 1-yard gain. Once again, that was number 47, the fullback Joe Frederick, for a short gainer.
Yeah, they'll probably have to put the ball in the air now, Lee. So we see what they try to do here. There's Trudeau, just off the right end of the line.
McLaughlin and Frederick in the backfield. Receiver split right and left on 3rd and 8, back to pass. In trouble is Jensen, and it's thrown, and almost interception. Was it an interception? We'll have to wait and see on the call. No, I believe it was not an interception. Tim Lovell, the cornerback, nearly had an INT. So it goes as an incompletion. It'll be 4th and 8, and Barrington will have to boot it away.
I had an opportunity to isolate. I personally just isolated on Trudeau there, and it doesn't appear that they're playing an aggressive defense on him.
Dave Rosk is back deep. Also Lovell standing at his 35-yard line. Here's the boot by Barrington's Whisks. Taken by Ross. That's at the 34-yard line, out over the 35 to the left sidelines into Barrington territory. And he's out of bounds at about the 42 after a 24-yard punt return by Rosk into Barrington territory. So great field position for Fremd to start their next drive with 10:06 remaining in the first half, and we're tied at 7.
I don't know who that was on Barrington that got down there on the right side, but the key and the most important job for the first 2 guys on the field is contain. You don't want to let the man get outside. There was a missed coverage there. He was able to get outside and pick up big yardage.
Bursa now brings his offensive crew onto the field again. Receivers split right and left. I formation in the backfield on 1st and 10 from call at the 41 of Barrington. Bursa back to pass, left side, and the ball is out of the reach of Farrell. On with the coverage was Rick Waters, the cornerback. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Fremd. There you look at Farrell, number 12. And checking his stats thus far this year, Farrell for Fremd has 13 catches for 262 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Good for a little over 20 yards per catch. In fact, to be exact, 20.2. That's outstanding. 2nd down and 10, as by the way, Farrell has caught the most balls on the team this year for the Vikings. The ball for Fremd at the Barrington 41-yard line. Under center is Bursa. Hands off to Mackey inside the 35 of Barrington and brought down at the 34 after a pickup of 7. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Fremd.
Offensive line did a great job there, opening up a big hole off the left tackle.
Rob Mackey, this year he coming into this game at 60 carries for 301 yards for a 5-yard average per carry, and he also has 5 touchdowns, 4 of them last week. Make it 1 in this ball game, so now give him a half a dozen thus far on the year. 3rd and 3 from the 34. Bursa now rolling right. He's got plenty of room. Passes instead. It was caught and dropped at about the 23-yard line. That was the tight end, number 88, Michael Mangan. If he catches the ball, he has a Viking first down. He was definitely disgusted.
I don't know if we'll get another look at this, but it appears that Bursa held onto the ball a little bit too long. Mangan was open, and I think he should have hit him about a second or two earlier, and would have made the reception a lot easier on Mangan.
It looked as though, Roger, if Bursa would have run for that first down, if he would have tried it, he probably would have had it. He had a lot of room ahead between himself and the defenders of Barrington. On to punt is Barton, and now going back is Bill Bay as well as Spencer Thomas, number 7. Bad snap! Barton's having a hard time, and he is in a whole heap of trouble. And the ball's going to be recovered at the 48-yard line of Fremd. Boy, on that play, they would have been better off going for it on 4th and 3 at the Barrington 34-yard line. So we saw a fumble early in the first quarter after a ball hit by James Farrell on a punt by Barrington, and now a botched snap. And Barrington has the ball at the Fremd 48-yard line, 1st and 10. I formation in the backfield, Frederick and McLaughlin. Handoff straight ahead to Frederick, and he plows his way forward to about the 46-yard line, a pickup of 2.
That's some just straightforward, no nonsense, up the gut running.
Joe Frederick, number 47, senior, 5'9", 190 pounds. 18 years of age.
That last play there, the Barrington offensive line got off the ball real aggressively.
Nearing the 8.5-minute mark until the intermission, Fremd and Barrington hooked in a 7-all tie, 2nd and 8 for the Broncos. The ball at the Fremd 46. On with the option, but nothing doing, and there's Ross, the outside linebacker, pulling Jensen down back at midfield, a loss of 4. It's going to be 3rd down and call it about 11 now for Barrington.
We get another look at it, Lee. You'll see he just shoots the gap right in there. He went in unscathed.
Ross, number 26. He's a senior, 5'9" and 162 pounds. It would appear we would see a pass now on 3rd and 11 from the Fremd 49. In fact, we will. There's pressure. Ball thrown. McLaughlin is literally licked hard.
We got a penalty, though, Lee. We could have a roughing the passer call.
Jensen at his 30-yard line. Barton put a lot of pressure on Jensen, and it's going to go against the Vikings. And I believe you were right, Roger. It's going to be a roughing the passer called. Boy, that's a tough penalty against Fremd.
They'll march it off. Here, we'll get another look at it. See if we left him, but it appears if, I don't know, maybe a late hit.
That will go to the Fremd 34-yard line. It'll be a 15-yard penalty.
Boy.
That's the 2nd penalty against the Vikings thus far in the first half for 20 yards. So instead of a punt situation on 4th and 11, it's a 15-yard walk-off against the Vikings. 1st down and 10 now for Barrington at the Fremd 34-yard line. Frederick and McLaughlin in the backfield on 1st and 10. On the keeper is Jensen inside the 25. And he's down to the Fremd 17, a pickup of 17 and a 1st down for the Broncos.
Coach Cameron said they'd be running that option tonight. Jensen does a great job at it. All 3 backs involved, Frederick, McLaughlin, and Jensen, have a very, very well-balanced running attack.
Patrick Jensen, the quarterback, 6'1", 170 pounds, and a junior as we get a look at the replay. Bravos to the near side of the field. Todd Smith to the far side of the field. I formation, Frederick and McLaughlin in the backfield on 1st and 10 for Barrington. The ball at the Fremd 17-yard line. Handoff straight up the middle. Inside the 15 is McLaughlin. He's brought down at about the 13 by number 78, one of the defensive guards, Dan Frazen. And he's a big guy, 6'5", 226 pounds after a 4-yard gain. Barrington trying to take the lead. It's tied at 7, under 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Bravos again to the near side of the field, number 6. Smith, number 21, to the far side of the field. Frederick and McLaughlin in the backfield on 2nd and 6 for Barrington. The ball at the Fremd 13-yard line. Under center is Jensen. He has it on the keeper, and he's brought down after a short gain by, it appeared, number 50, Chris Barton, one of the inside linebackers, after a 1-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 5 now for Barrington. The ball at the Fremd 12-yard line. We're near the halfway point of the second quarter, along with Roger Simpson. This is Lee Anderson. Hope you're enjoying this big Mid-Suburban League North clash for the lead in the conference. Both teams 2-0 in MSL North play, and they're also perfect on the year at 6-0. Back to pass on 3rd and 5 is Jensen. He throws, and it is knocked away, and it's nearly intercepted. The ball was intended to Smith at the left side of the end zone, and on with the coverage, I believe it was number 48, cornerback Spencer Palmer, as he knocked the ball away. Nearly had the interception, in fact.
Todd Smith, did a fine job. After the ball was tipped, became a defender. We're going to get a look at it, and you'll see that he just took the man right to the ground, right there. Didn't allow him a chance to make the catch.
On to attempt a field goal is Wiskus. This one is much closer than his first quarter try from 46 yards out. This will be only a 29-yard kick for Wiskus. Here's the snap and the kick, and it is good as it hits, well, it goes to the right side of the uprights, and we have a penalty flag on the field. So let's wait and see if that kick will be nullified if it's against the Barrington Broncos. If it's against Fremd, that might give the Broncos a first down. Boy, that would be another crucial penalty against the Vikings on this drive.
I don't believe Coach Samajedi would be too happy about that.
Clock stopped with 5:59 remaining in the first half. We're tied at 7. Our referee is Tom Tolman. We still don't have the official word as to what the penalty is. Well, the way that Tolman is moving, he's heading.
They're marching it off against Fremd.
Okay, now let's wait and see. That's going to be a roughing the kicker penalty.
Oh.
That's going to be an automatic first down regardless of how many yards is walked off. They needed about 5, but when you get a penalty like that, roughing the passer that was called on this particular drive, it would have been 4th and 11. It's an automatic first down. Now on 4th and 5, a roughing the kicker, and it's going to be a first down and goal now for Barrington. The ball at about the Fremd 6-yard line. Crucial penalty against the Vikings. McLaughlin is hit immediately, initially, at about the 5-yard line after a 1-yard gain. Two big penalties on this drive by Fremd.
Both personal fouls, too.
Both of those penalties, in fact, were on 4th down as well for Barrington. Certainly Joe Samojedi can't be very pleased on this particular defensive sequence for his team. 2nd down and goal now for Barrington. The ball at the Fremd 5-yard line. Frederick and McLaughlin in the backfield. Under center is Jensen. Handoff to McLaughlin inside the 5, and he's down to about the 2-yard line as Barrington in the second quarter is moving from our left to right. 3-yard gain for McLaughlin. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Oh, will we see a run here on 3rd and short, or do you think it'll be a pass on 3rd and goal from the 2?
Well, if it's going to be a pass, I don't think you want to get too fancy with it. A little play action maybe to Trudeau.
Smith, the lone receiver to the far side of the field. Big play, even though we're in the second quarter.
They're set up for the option, though.
McLaughlin up the middle, and he's got a touchdown. And Barrington, for the second time in the game, reclaims the lead on a 2-yard touchdown run by Jim McLaughlin. It's 13-7 Broncos. Certainly it was nothing fancy, as you predicted, Roger. They didn't want to get too cute. They kept it on the ground, and McLaughlin went right up the middle for a 2-yard touchdown run. And Barrington, as I mentioned, has their second lead here in the first half with 4:39 remaining in the first half. Here's Wiskus on for the extra point, and it is perfect. And the score, with 4 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the first half, it's now Barrington 14 and Fremd 7. For McLaughlin, that is his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. We're going to get a replay look at that.
Well, Lee, this offensive line for the Barrington Broncos, they don't really appear to be that big, but they really operate as a unit out there. They fire off the ball quickly. They're all real quick, and obviously they're extremely well coached, and they do just an excellent job.
I had a chance before the game inside Fremd High School to talk to a couple of the Barrington Broncos cheerleaders, some lovely young ladies, and certainly they felt very confident. But boy, we certainly had a herd of Fremd cheerleaders in our pregame show.
I was going to say, Lee, I think those girls that were down there with us on the field before the game wouldn't be too happy to hear that you were talking to the Barrington girls.
I would imagine that both cheerleaders are guaranteeing wins for their respective schools this evening. Wisk will be kicking off for Barrington following the 2-yard touchdown run by McLaughlin. It's 14-7 Barrington with 4:39 until the intermission. Here's the boot. It's a short kick. Taken at the 22-yard line by Rosk. Out over the 30. Still on his feet, and he's brought down at the 37-yard line by number 34, Bill Cox, after a 15-yard kickoff return. Fremd has good field position, and they have to gather themselves defensively after making 2 crucial penalties on 4th down, setting up a touchdown. In fact, if the first penalty was not made, they might have not had even a field goal. If the second penalty was not made, at worst, they would have only had a field goal against them. But in fact, with the 2 penalties combined, the Vikings give up a touchdown and now trail 14-7. First down and 10 now for Fremd, ball at the 37. That's Rob Mackey out over the 40 to the 44, a 7-yard pickup for Mackey.
You know, in addition to that, Lee, they only hurt themselves because that keeps them on the field a lot longer. I think what's important for Fremd now is for them to sustain a drive here. They've got plenty of time to go down and score, give that defense a rest. I mean, they were just on the field for quite some time.
Rob Mackey with a 7-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 3. Mackey at the 11:55 mark of the second quarter scored on a 4-yard touchdown run. The lone score of the game thus far for Fremd. On with the keeper is Bursa, and Bursa is dragged down at the 44-yard line. And he was dragged down by big number 70, Trevor Parmenter. Parmenter is 6 foot, 175 pounds, and he is a junior. No gain, 3rd and 3. Rusty Mann coming in as a receiver now, number 37 for Fremd. 3rd down and 3 for Fremd. Ball at their own 44-yard line. Thus far, Bursa passing is 2 for 5 for 46 yards in the ball game. I formation in the backfield on 3rd and 3. Hand off to Mackey. He's got the first down, still on his feet, and he reaches midfield after a 6-yard pickup. First down, Vikings.
There's Jimmy Mitchell carrying the ball. One of his best carries of the evening.
Ball at midfield now. First down and 10 for Vikings. We're nearing the end of the second quarter, and Fremd trying to tie it up before the intermission. They trail 14-7. Clock moving, 2:44, 2:43 and counting. Farrell to the near side of the field. Mike Kelly to the far side of the field. I formation in the backfield. Faking the handoff to Mitchell is Bursa. The throw, and it's complete to Mitchell. He bounces off a tackler, still on his feet, but in fact, he's going to lose yardage at the 49-yard line. It's a completed pass, but a loss of 1 yard.
We also have a penalty flag, Lee. Probably going to be a face mask or something. I saw some celebration going on there on the Fremd bench.
Clock stop with 2:25 remaining until the intermission. It'll be a face mask against Barrington. Now we'll have to wait and see how bad of a face mask penalty it'll be against them.
We get another look at it. Well, he came right up and grabbed it, but he wasn't real discreet about it. That could be a 15-yarder.
That'll be an automatic first down for the Fremd Vikings. It would have been, had the play stood, 2nd down and 11. Tom Toman again is our referee with the march off. And he is going to mark the ball at the Barrington 37-yard line. So it's a 15-yard penalty on the face mask penalty against the Broncos.
It's a shame to see these two powerhouses, 6-0 teams, really plaguing the game with penalties. They're only hurting themselves.
1st and 10 Vikings, the Barrington 37. And the ball carrier is dragged down at about the 35-yard line after a 2-yard pickup, and that was Jimmy Mitchell with the short gain. Jimmy Mitchell in the last game that we had, he had a good second half after a slow first half in that double overtime win by Fremd over Conant at Conant.
If I remember correctly, he came out actually right at the beginning of the second half with a couple of real big explosive carries.
That was an 11-yard touchdown pass in double overtime from Bursa to Michael Mangan, the tight end that ultimately gave Fremd their 6-point win in double overtime over the Cougars. Back to pass on second, it is Bursa. He throws, and the ball should have been caught by Kelly, and he slams his fist on the turf in disgust. The ball was right there, but
Bursa
on a night like tonight, it could be tough to hang on to the ball.
Bursa did a great job, put the ball right there. That's, it's true, the weather can affect you in that way, but all the more reason that you should be catching the ball, because teams don't expect you to be passing with this type of weather. That's why if you can do it and you can get the ball there, you got to make the play.
1:36 remaining until the intermission. It's now 3rd and 9 for Fremd. It would appear a passing situation. The ball at the Barrington 36-yard line. Man to the far side of the field, Farrell to the near side of the field. Back to pass on 3rd and 9, and now rolling right is Bursa. He's in trouble. He scrambles inside the 35. He's still on his feet at the 30 before he is corralled at the 30-yard line by cornerback Rick Waters after a 6-yard pickup. It'll be 4th down and 3, and I would think that Fremd's going to go for it now on 4th and short.
Well, I think with a minute, just a little over a minute and a half, or I guess we do exactly have a minute and a half left now, absolutely. With that type of field position, you kick a field goal. Oh, we're looking at a replay there.
Bursa with a fine scrambling play
Good
for
quick
that
feet.
6-yard gain.
Tremendous asset for the quarterbacks, quick feet.
Big play for both teams late in the first half. 4th and 3 for Fremd at the Barrington 30. Back to pass is Bursa. He throws, and it is deflected off of Kelly's hands, nearly into the hands of Farrell, and it hits his hand and goes out of bounds for the incompletion. Barrington holds. They will get the ball back at their own 30 with 1:08 remaining until the intermission.
Lee, looked like there was a little confusion over there. Kelly, I don't know if really knew if the pass was to him or not. And we're going to get another look at it. The ball actually probably could have been caught by either man. These both guys were pretty open, too.
I think that Farrell would have had the better opportunity because Kelly had the leap in the air. It would have been a tough catch. It would have actually been a spectacular catch by Kelly.
Although Farrell was running out of real estate over there, though.
1st down and 10 now at the 30-yard line for Barrington as they take over in possession. Straight forward is McLaughlin, the ball carrier, out over the 30 to the 32, a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 8. We're under a minute remaining until the intermission. Let's wait and see if Fremd, in fact, uses, I believe they have all 3 timeouts, but it appears that no one is in any great hurry to use a timeout. Maybe they want to both get off the field and warm up a bit and settle for a 14-7 halftime lead for Barrington. 2nd down and 8 for the Broncos. The ball at their own 32-yard line. Let's wait and see. This could be the last play before the intermission. McLaughlin, the ball carrier, again, fumble, and it's recovered by Fremd at the 38-yard line.
They got to get a timeout.
McLaughlin was hit at the 33. The ball squirted loose out over the 35 to the 38. And Fremd has the ball with perhaps to at least get a field goal with 26 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, if we get another look at it, I'd like to see who got there. Who got their arm in there and stripped that? There's McLaughlin with the ball. I couldn't catch the number, but
ball was carried by or was picked up by Lavelle, and I believe Jim Mangelli, the inside linebacker, was responsible for the fumble situation when he hit
got an arm in there. He got an arm in there and stripped it right out of there. Well, yeah, you almost wonder, why didn't Barrington probably just go to a knee?
That's a very good point.
Run the timeout. As now this would be a tremendous lift to the Fremd Vikings, even if they can get a field goal out of this.
There is Joe Samojedny. His team trailing 14-7. Now there's 22 seconds remaining until the intermission as we have an official timeout on the field. Don't forget Bears Training 101 with George Hallis Don Gerstein and Ron Knutson, as we feature the Bears and the Packers clips every Monday night live at 7 p.m. Ron Knutson is the Packers fan and Don Gerstein is the Bears fan, and we take your phone calls every Monday night at 577-385-59. That's Bears Training 101 this Monday night at 7 p.m. right here on Channel 13. First down and 10 for Fremd. The ball at the Barrington 38-yard line. 22 ticks remaining until the intermission. Ball is thrown and complete.
Oh, there you go.
Go all the way. Inside the 10.
Oh.
Touchdown, Fremd. Boy, just like that, and he has a little dance in the end zone.
Boy, and I was about to say, Bersa let go of the ball too late. The man was open and he wasn't throwing the ball, but boy, what a hell of a play.
Fremd fans are on their feet, and we're an extra point away from a tie, heading until halftime. 38-yard touchdown completion from Bersa to Rusty Mann. Mann's first catch of the evening, and it's 14-13. Barrington pending the extra point. On for the extra point now to try to tie it up in the waning seconds of the first half is Barton. Here's the snap, and the kick is perfect, and we're tied at 14. Boy, we've had some real big plays in this first half, Roger. Mistakes by both teams leading to points for the other squad.
Mental mistakes, you talk about penalties. Obviously, we've chatted about that. Those are mental mistakes, but you really got to wonder why the coaching staff of Barrington didn't decide to just go to a knee, run the timeout. That's, we'd have to say, chalk up a mental mistake perhaps for the coaching staff of Barrington.
Duran Bersa now with that touchdown pass. He in the ball game is 4 for 9 for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. We thank our stats man, Richie Schwartz. Richie, who did you like in this game? Oh, Barrington was picked by 3 according to the Schwartz line. 13 seconds remaining until the intermission. We're locked at 14, but we're going to have a doozy of a second half. Ready to kick in just a couple of seconds is Chris Barton. Back deep, standing at the 15-yard line, is David Bay, and also at the 10-yard line is number 21, Todd Smith. Here's the boot, squibbed on the ground, and it's knocked off the hands. I believe, no, that's McLaughlin, and just falling on the ball. I think it's a smart play as McLaughlin at the 16-yard line.
Would have been a smart play about 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, exactly. He would have fell on the ball. It might have not led to that fumble by McLaughlin, and Barrington would have probably had a 14-7 lead. Conversely, the ball was recovered by Rusk at the 38-yard line, and on the first play from scrimmage offensively, Bersa threw a 38 touchdown pass down the left sidelines to Rusty Mann. There will not be a play from scrimmage as the final 7 seconds run out. Folks, we got a whale of a ball game, and we hope you certainly stay with us for our final 24 minutes. At halftime in the battle for first place in the Mid-Suburban League North Conference, it's the Barrington Broncos 14 and the Fremd Vikings 14. We will be back just a few seconds before the opening kickoff for a recap on the first half, and then the opening boot of the third quarter right after this timeout. You are watching
and load.
Welcome back for the start of the second half at Fremd High School in Palatine. We are locked at 14 in the battle for first place in the Mid-Suburban League North. Fremd will get the ball to start the second half first. Kicking off is number 89, Eric Wiskus. Back deep for Fremd, standing inside his own 10-yard line is Jimmy Mitchell, also back deep. At about the 17-yard line, we have David Rusk and also Rusty Mann. Ready to start the second half. 24 more minutes. The winner of this game is 7-0, but even more importantly, they'll be 3-0 and in first place in the Mid-Suburban League North. Here's the boot. It's a short boot, taken on a run at the 25 by Rusk, and we have a penalty flag on the kickoff to start the second half, and I think we could have an offsides penalty against the Barrington Broncos. There you look at the
The yellow laundry.
Yellow laundry that both teams never like to see on the field. But there were some big penalties in the first half.
That's going to say that the teams don't want to see. Certainly the coaches don't want to see.
We're going to be hearing from our pal, George Bliss, on the sidelines. And I believe he has the athletic director, Jack Drollinger from Fremd High School. That'll be immediately after this kickoff following the 5-yard penalty against Barrington. The ball moved back those 5 yards to their own 35-yard line. Jimmy Mitchell is the deep man. He's standing in a crouch position at his own 16-yard line. We're set once again to resume the second half. Here's the boot. It's a short kick once again, taken by Mitchell at the 30, out over the 35, tries to change directions, instead goes back into the center of the field and is hit at the 36-yard line after a 6-yard kickoff return. 1st and 10 Barrington. Once again, we're going to hear from our pal on the sidelines, George Bliss. He has Mr. Jack Drollinger. George?
We're here with the athletic director of Fremd High School, Jack Drollinger. Jack, you're in your second year, and have you had a more exciting game than this one? This is big. Tied at the halftime. It's very close, isn't it?
It's about the best it can get right here. It's the best game I've seen since I've been here, and all we're looking for is a few more touchdowns and hopefully come out with a victory tonight.
You also have some good news about your soccer team, I understand. Let's tell the viewing audience what you want to hear.
Yeah, next Tuesday night over at Conan High School, our varsity soccer team will be playing for the Mid-Suburban League Championship against Conan. So that's big news here also.
Back to live action, and this is going to be a great one. We'll catch you after the game.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
A 2-yard loss by Mitchell, and it's 1st and 10 for the Barrington Broncos inside the Fremd 35-yard line at the 34 of the Vikings. Fumble by Jimmy Mitchell on their first play offensively for Fremd, and Barrington now has a chance to once again break this 14-all tie here early in the third quarter. Patrick Jensen, the quarterback, back to pass. Wide open is Smith, and it is thrown out of his reach. On with the coverage was Spencer Palmer, but he was turned around the wrong way. If the pass is on the money, it's a touchdown for Smith, but it was thrown out of his reach. 2nd and 10. Patrick Jensen is the quarterback. He's the junior. His fullback is Joe Frederick and Jim McLaughlin. Split end is Todd Smith. He's to the far side of the field. To the near side of the field is number 6, Christos Bravos. 2nd and 10 Broncos. The ball at the Fremd 34-yard line. With the option now, going to his right, diving forward for about 2 yards, is the quarterback Jensen to the 32-yard line. Tackled by inside linebacker Jim Mangelli. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Talk about emotional highs and lows. Closing the half with that big touchdown play and then coming out and opening up the second half with a big, big turnover. Coach Samagetti's going to have a few gray hairs after this game.
Call it only a 1-yard gain by Jensen instead of a 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 9 now for Barrington. The ball at the Fremd 33-yard line. Receivers split right and left. Now in a receiving position is the tight end Paul Trudeau. He had a a touchdown receiving in the first half. The throw, and it could be picked off. Spencer Thomas picks it off. The cornerback for Fremd, and he's out of bounds to the 12-yard line. Barrington, following that Jimmy Mitchell fumble on Fremd's first offensive play of the second half, fails to move the ball and results in a turnover on their side. And Fremd gets the ball back at their own 12 as we're going to get a replay look at that interception by cornerback Thomas. Check that, Palmer.
Spencer Palmer right now has got to be feeling pretty good after being turned around a couple plays before on what could have been an easy touchdown. He comes up, gets the ball back for his team.
10:22 remaining in the third quarter. We're tied at 14. 1st and 10 Vikings at their own 12. Straight forward through the middle is Jimmy Mitchell, and he has about a 2-yard gain to the 14-yard line. Check that. That was Rob Mackey instead of Mitchell. Number 32, a 2-yard gain for Mackey. It'll be 2nd and 8. The quarterback is Darren Bursa. The fullback is Keith Lazowski, and the tailback is Rob Mackey, and we'll see a lot of Jimmy Mitchell at running back. The tight end is Michael Mangan. The split ends, Mike Kelly and James Farrell. The offensive line, the center is Craig Crawford. Guards, Christian Gianconteri and Dan Frazen, and the tackles, Nathan Brown and Derek Brurick. Back to pass on 2nd and 8 is Bursa. He now rolls to his left. He will keep it out over the 15, and he is hit hard out of bounds at the 17-yard line by one of the inside linebackers, Kit Butts. That was a 3-yard gain. It's now going to be 3rd and 5 for Fremd. Check that was Kit Boots.
Well, Farrell was open there across the middle, but Bursa couldn't get himself squared up to get the ball to him.
3rd down and 5. The ball at the 17-yard line for Fremd. Clock is stopped with 9:38 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Fremd 14 and Barrington 14. It's been a great battle. Long way to go to determine the leader after this game in the Mid-Suburban League North. Back to pass on 3rd down and 5, and it's a completion from Bursa to Kelly. He's still on his feet. He's finally brought down by free safety B.J. Soltis at the 35-yard line. That was an 18-yard pickup from Bursa to Kelly.
Kelly made a hell of a catch here. I'll tell you, Bursa had something on the ball there. He really whipped that thing in there, but the hands went up, made solely a hand catch, and tacked on a nice run at the end of it.
Kelly now has 3 catches in the ball game for 64 yards. Bursa now 5 for 10 for 101 yards and a touchdown in the ball game. 1st and 10 now for the Vikings. Ball at their own 35-yard line. I formation in the backfield. Hand off, the ball carrier is Mackey. He's hit out over the 35-yard line at the 36. It'll be a 1-yard gain. That'll make it 2nd and 9, and we're going to get a replay look on that 18-yard catch by Kelly.
You see what I mean here? You see Bursa has some... we didn't get a look at the catch. But he didn't get his body behind it. He just threw the hands up and made the catch. Boy, in this cold weather, when that ball's got something on it like that, that isn't easy, Lee.
Call that a 2-yard gain by Mackey instead of a 1-yard gain. So instead of a 2nd and 9 for Fremd, it's 2nd down and 8 for the Vikings. The ball at their own 37-yard line. I formation in the backfield. Farrell to the far side of the field. Kelly to the near side of the field. Back to man open. Bursa. He's got Kelly again, and he's dragged out of bounds by Waters, the cornerback, into Barrington territory. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line, and that'll be good for a 17-yard, check that, a 17-yard pickup for Fremd and another 1st down.
We're going to look at this again, Lee. I'll tell you, I'm very impressed by Bursa and how controlled he is in the pocket back there. He takes his time, sets up, finds the man. Remember, I don't recall them passing this much against Conant when we covered that game several weeks ago. Do you?
No, they did not. You're right. 1st and 10 at the 46. Lazowski, he's the big guy, the fullback, inside the 40, and he's down at the 39, but there is a penalty marker on the field, and we will wait and see what the call is. That will be a 7-yard pickup, should the call be perhaps against the Broncos by Lazowski. It's going to go against the Fremd Vikings. It's going to be an illegal block against Fremd, as called by our referee in this ball game, Tom Toman. Again, the head linesman is Everett Worth. The umpire is Gene Hasley. The line judge is Colin Grieg, and the back judge is Mike Briggs. So that penalty against Fremd will negate a 7-yard run by Lazowski. Ball will back Fremd into their own territory once again. And that will be a 10-yard penalty against the Vikings. Ball backed up to their own 43-yard line. So instead of 2nd and 3 after that 7-yard gain by Lazowski, it's going to be 1st down and 20 for the Vikings. The ball at their own 43-yard line. The defensive line for Barrington. The tackles are Trevor Parmenter and Pat Olson. The nose guard is Joe Carbonara. We'll set the linebackers and the secondary after this play. Hand off to Mackey. Mackey breaks a tackle, and he's out of bounds at the 49-yard line after a pickup of 6. The inside linebackers for Barrington, Mike Johnson and Kit Butts. The cornerbacks, Bill Bay and Rick Waters. The strong safety is Spencer Thomas, and the free safety is B.J. Soltis. 2nd down and call it 14 now for the Vikings. Ball near midfield at their own 49-yard line. Farrell and Mann, the receivers, to the far side of the field. Lazowski and Mackey in the I formation in the backfield. Under center is Bursa. Fakes the handoff to Mackey. Now rolling briefly to his right. He throws, and it is almost intercepted by number 7, the strong safety, Spencer Thomas. The intended receiver was Mann for Fremd. It'll be 3rd and 14.
In a more short to intermediate range there, Keith Lazowski was wide open. He chose to go for the longer or deeper receiver.
That'll now make it 3rd and 14 now for Fremd. It would appear a passing situation again. The ball inside midfield for Fremd at their own 49-yard line. 7:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We're tied at 14. Both teams looking for their 7th straight win without a loss. Back to pass is Bursa. He throws to Lazowski. Lazowski into Barrington territory, and he's wrestled up at about the 48 after only a 3-yard completion. It's going to be 4th and 11, and on to punt most likely will be Chris Barton for Fremd. Back for Barrington is Bay and also Thomas.
I think we're getting another look at this, Lee. Look at the screen. Bursa's got to get a little deeper drop on that screen.
Lazowski, he's a big guy, basketball player. He'll play this year for Motharp, also a discus thrower. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, and a senior. Here's the snap and the boot at the 40 by Barton. And it bounces at the 31-yard line. And it's down at the 29 by number 66. I would believe that was Brian Bauman for Fremd. We're going to have another feature, and we go back down on the field now to our George Bliss. George.
Craig Crawford, the starting offensive center, and Craig, bad luck tonight. Tell us what happened early in the game.
First play of the first quarter, I got my knee landed on wrong and kind of blew it out of socket.
Are you in much pain, buddy?
Yeah, it hurts a little bit.
1st and 10 now for Barrington.
It's a close one, boy. I'll tell you, it's going to be close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be close. I hope we win, though.
What did the coach tell you before the game? What was the offensive plan, basically?
We were just going to go right at them, and hopefully that'll work out.
Good luck with your team, and good luck next year in your college endeavor.
Thanks.
That's Craig Crawford. Back up to you guys up in the booth.
1-yard carry by Jensen, the quarterback. That'll make it 2nd and 9 for Barrington at their own 30. Our thanks to George Bliss, who's operating the microphone down on the field for us this evening, despite the chilly temperatures here at Fremd High School. 2nd down and 9 for Barrington, the ball at their own 30-yard line. Back to pass is Jensen. He throws over the middle. It's complete at midfield. Smith still on his feet. He's inside the 30, and he's finally pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Otherwise, he might have smelled the goal line, and possibly saving the touchdown was number 25, the cornerback, Tim Lovell. But that was a 45-yard pickup on that completion from Jensen to Smith.
First down for the Broncos.
We're going to get a replay on that. Some 45 yards.
It's another one of these crossing patterns, Lee.
Of age, James Lofton, 36. Steve DeBerg, 28. Goodness.
Dallarisa got the kick away. Pretty good roll. Juggled out of bounds by Fan.
3rd time in the game, Barrington's trying to recapture the lead. Handoff to McLaughlin. He's inside the 25, down at the 22 after a pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. 5:45 time remaining and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Fremd and Barrington tied at 14. Frankly, at this point, Roger, you couldn't have asked for a better game between two undefeated teams battling for first place in the MSL North.
Absolutely. I'm actually quite impressed with all the offense that we're seeing. They're completely proving us wrong.
2nd down and 7 for Barrington. The ball at the Fremd 22-yard line. Back to pass is Jensen. He throws left sidelines, and it is, let's wait and see, almost interception, but the ball, it appeared to be trapped by number 48, Spencer Palmer. Palmer, on the last possession for Barrington, defensively intercepted the ball. That would have been number 2 on the night for Palmer. 3rd down and 7. We're going to get a replay on that interception almost by Palmer.
And Jensen here, obviously, the ball is way underthrown.
3rd and 7. The ball at the 22-yard line for Barrington. Smith to the near side of the field. Now to the far side of the field is Bill Cox. I formation in the backfield. McLaughlin and Frederick. Back to pass is Jensen. He throws left sidelines, and it is incomplete, intended for Cox. On with the coverage again is Palmer. The ball was overthrown, and now it is going to be 4th and 7. And let's see if Wiskus comes on for, it would appear to be about a 39-yard field goal. Yes, he is on the field.
He's on the field.
Wiskus in the first half was 0 for 1. He missed a 46-yard field goal in the first quarter, made a 29-yard field goal in the second quarter, but was roughed defensively by Fremd, and then ultimately Barrington took the ball in the penalty, and then they got a touchdown from Jim McLaughlin from 2 yards out and gave him at the time a 14-7 lead. This to give Barrington a 3-point lead. Oh, it is a botched snap. Wiskus grabs it and he falls at the 26-yard line. And then we're going to remain in a 14-14 tie with 5:04 remaining in the third quarter. Do you think at this stage, Roger, that the bad temperatures might have caused yet another bad snap as we saw one in the first half?
Yeah, you know, I was actually hoping we get another look at this because to me it looked as if the snap was just fine. And unfortunately, the spotter, the holder, just couldn't get the ball down.
First down and 10 now for Fremd. They take over at their own 27-yard line. Receivers split right and left. Hand off to Mackey. Check that. That was Mitchell. Jimmy Mitchell is ahead for 3 yards at the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7. Tackle made by Joe Carbonara, the nose guard for Barrington.
Leah, here we go. Oh, the snap was right there. Perhaps, you know, that is a temperature that's affecting it, but there's no way that that ball should not have been placed properly.
Under 4.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Fremd and Barrington tied at 14. Fremd with the ball in their green uniforms with white numbers and yellow pants. 2nd and 7 for Fremd at their own 30. Back to pass is Bursa. He throws, he connects with Mangan. Mangan struggles forward near the right sidelines and pushes himself to about the 34-yard line after just a 4-yard pickup. That'll now make it 3rd and 3 for Fremd.
3rd and 3 for Fremd. Spencer Thomas.
That's Michael Mangan's first catch of the ball game. Leading receiver is Mike Kelly. The split end is 4 catches for 81 yards. Rusty Mann has the other catch of the 6 completions for Bursa, a 38-yard touchdown pass with 13 seconds remaining until halftime that tied the game up at 14 apiece following the extra point. 3rd down and 3 now for Fremd. Ball at their 34-yard line. Botched play. Bursa's going to have to eat it. Back at the 30-yard line. There might be a penalty against Barrington as there's a flag on the field with 3:22 remaining in the third quarter. That was a 4-yard loss by Bursa back to the 30. Let's wait and see what the penalty. Yes, it's a penalty against Barrington for a face mask. That's not the first face mask we've seen in the game. That would have given the ball back to Barrington. That would have made it 4th down and about 7 for Fremd at their own 30-yard line. But instead, it is a big penalty of 15 yards to the 46-yard line. So call it a 4-yard loss by Bursa and a 15-yard penalty on the face mask penalty against the quarterback, Darren Bursa. 4 penalties in the ball game against Barrington now for 40 yards. We've seen a couple of big penalties on
two of
in this
them,
game.
which they were face masking penalties, they marched off. I mean, that's 30 yards right there for the 2 of those.
Call it the 47-yard line for Fremd, 1st and 10. Jimmy Mitchell, the ball carrier, over midfield into Barrington territory before he stopped at the 49-yard line, a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Coming back into the game, the split end Rusty Mann, as he does throughout the game, exchanges plays offensively with one of the other split ends, Mike Kelly, for Joe Samojedny's Fremd Vikings. Nearing the end of the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes remaining and the clock moving. We're tied here at Fremd High School. The Fremd Vikings 14, the Barrington Broncos 14. Under center now, handoff and losing a yard is the ball carrier Mitchell back to the 50-yard line. It's now going to make it 3rd down and about 6 for the Fremd Vikings.
But then the defensive line at Barrington had a good surge, got into the backfield. As I've said so many times, anytime that you can penetrate into the backfield, you're going to be very successful defending the run.
Coming out of the game is Jean Conteri, the guard, and replacing him is Chris Barton. Barton, defensively, is an inside linebacker, also their punter. Another big play in the ball game, 3rd and 6 for Fremd. The ball at midfield. Back to pass is Bursa. He throws and it is incomplete at about the 37-yard line as Mike Kelly was the intended receiver. It looked as though he trapped the ball. It'll be 4th down for Fremd with the clock stopped. 1:43 remaining until the end of the 3rd quarter.
Good coverage there by the Barrington defensive secondary. We're going to get another look at it, Lee. You'll see the man was man-on-man coverage. He was all over him like a blanket.
Back to punt is Barton. Chris Barton standing at his own 36-yard line. Here's the snap and the boot by Barton. And it's kicked at the 20-yard line. And hit immediately is Spencer Thomas, the strong safety inside Barrington's 20-yard line at about their own 19. So a loss of 1 on the punt return. And Barrington will have it 1st and 10, but before we set up shop for Barrington offensively, there is another penalty flag on the field.
It appears to be against Fremd.
1:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We're all even at 14. I would think that if it is, in fact, against Fremd, Roger, that the Broncos will make the Vikings kick it over again. They would hope to get better field position than at about their own 19-yard line. There's Tom Tolman, our referee in the ball game. The penalty is against the Vikings. The ball will back them up 5 yards now at their own 45-yard line. It'll be 4th and 11. Barrington, in fact, will make the Vikings kick it over again. Standing near their own 30-yard line is Thomas and Bay for Barrington. There's Farrell, one of the receivers on special teams for the Vikings. Barton standing at his 32. Here's the kick from the 35. Good kick by Barton. Inside the 20. It takes a Fremd bounce inside the 10 and down at the 7. Well, the way it turned out, Fremd got 12 more yards in real estate. Barrington would have had the ball had the penalty not come up at their own 19, but instead they elected to take the penalty. What do I know? And with the bounce, Barrington now is backed up inside their 10, 1st and 10 at their own 7-yard line. There's number 61 for Fremd, Arson Selcook, having confidence in his teammates, hoping to maybe perhaps defensively get a turnover deep in Barrington territory. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Handoff up the middle, and that was Frederick, the ball carrier. He's out over the 10-yard line to the 11. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Check that, 2nd and 6.
Should be able to get one more playoff here. Not getting too fancy down there deep in their own zone. Just straight off tackle up the middle.
I beg your pardon. Call it a 2-yard gain.
Pick up of 2, 2nd and 8.
Check that, 2nd down and 8 for Barrington. The ball at their own 9-yard line. Under a half a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter and a 14-14 tie. I formation in the backfield. And the ball carrier, that is McLaughlin. He's hit near the 5-yard line. That's going to be a 3-yard loss for Barrington. Back to their 6. That could be the last play. I believe it will be here in the 3rd quarter. We're under 10 seconds. That is going to do it for the 3rd quarter. We have completed 36 minutes here at Fremd High School. Nothing doing still between Fremd and Barrington. They will have to settle it in the 4th quarter at least. Who knows, maybe even overtime. We've seen one overtime game this year. It's the Barrington Broncos 14 and the Fremd Vikings 14. Barrington will have the ball at their own 6-yard line, 3rd down and 11. That's going to be a key 3rd down play for them. You would figure that they would have to pass it because they want to at least get some field position. If they are forced to punt the ball, Fremd is going to get some pretty darn good field position, perhaps in Barrington's territory.
Absolutely. With a couple of off-tackle plays there, perhaps a play action call here might make some sense. I think we're going to go down to George. I think he's got someone down there he wants to have a couple words with.
George, take it away on the field, buddy.
I talked to Coach Danish just a few seconds ago, and he feels if they can hold off the Barrington attack this quarter, Fremd is going to have a victory. You can see in the background they're talking about their defensive schemes. This is an exciting game, fans. It's tied here in Palatine. Let's go back up to the booth with Roger and Lee.
Thank you very much, George, as he's been doing a great job on the sidelines with the field mic throughout the game. What a game him as well as we have been seeing throughout the first 3 quarters. Barrington and Fremd knotted at 14. Big play now as we start the 4th quarter, 3rd and 11 for Barrington at their own 6. Rolling right is Jensen, and he throws, and it is almost completed to Trudeau. It bounced initially off his hands, and then he tried to grab it at the 38-yard line, but the ball hit the ground, and Barrington's going to have to boot it away deep in their end zone.
But we're going to get another look at it. Anytime you go to Trudeau with him being 6'4", you know, he's going to have an opportunity to catch it, Lee. Yeah, a little tip drill here. He goes up for it. No, it almost comes down with it.
Wiskus near the back of his end zone will boot it away, and he needs a big boot.
It's a pressure punt.
Lavelle and Rosk back for Fremd. Ball taken at the 34 of Barrington by Rosk. Rosk is down near the 30-yard line. It's a 4-yard return off the punt by Rosk. But Fremd has an excellent opportunity to take the lead for the first time in this ball game here early in the 4th quarter with 11:41 remaining in the ball game, and the Fremd Vikings have it now 1st and 10 at the Barrington 30-yard line.
Broncos special teams doing a good job there getting downfield and covering that. You notice you talk about the containment there. There was no way that punt returner was going to get outside and turn a corner. They forced him back up the middle, and of course he ran into a whole host of Barrington tacklers.
Boy, you don't think it's cold on the field? We just saw moments ago on your screen, Ross, the guy who took the punt, he has a total face mask on as far as a hat goes. 1st and 10, Fremd. Lazowski inside the 25, and he's near a first down, near the 21-yard line. A pickup of 10 for Lazowski. That's his longest run of the night. Thus far, that's only the 4th carry in the ball game for Lazowski. Now he has 17 yards. Prior to that carry, he had 3 carries for just 7 yards.
Well, that's just straight up the middle football right there. Tip your hat to the offensive line of the Fremd Vikings. I think we're going to get a look at it here, Lee. Big surge off the ball, opened up a nice hole for him. Lazowski, he's a big kid. He just lumbered right through there.
We'll be seeing him on the basketball court as he is the center for Mo Tharp. The Vikings appear to have a good team headed their way once again as far as hoops go. They went to the Sweet 16 last year before they lost to East Aurora.
First down, Fremd.
First down, as Roger mentioned, for the Vikings. The ball at the Barrington 21-yard line. A 10-yard pickup exactly for Lazowski. 11:14 and counting remaining in the ball game. There has been no scoring in the second half. We're still tied at 14. Fremd has not led at all in this ball game. Barrington has led twice. Fremd trying to lead for the first time. Mann and Farrell, the receivers, to the near side of the field. Handoff again to Lazowski. He's inside the 15 and brought down at the 14, but not after he picks up 7 more yards. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
They're sticking with the strength right now. Lazowski's on a roll up the middle. Just giving it to the big guy right up there.
5 carries now for Lazowski for 24 yards. In his last 2 carries, he's got 17 yards. In the first 3 quarters, Lazowski had just carried the ball 3 times for just 7 yards. Under 10.5 remaining in the ball game. Tied at 14. 2nd down and 3 for Fremd at the 14. Lazowski, the ball carrier again, drags a couple of Barrington tacklers near the first down. I believe he's going to be just a little short. Give him a 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and a short 1 for Fremd.
I think he made a little something out of nothing there. He tried to hit the hole, and he was shut down, and then trying to get to the outside, he slipped. But he was able to lumber over there for a couple yards.
Lazowski has carried the last 3 times. Let's see if he goes for his 4th straight carry on just 3rd down and 1 with a safe play. A carry right up the middle to the big guy. Lazowski and Mackey, the I formation in the backfield. Straight forward is Bursa, the quarterback, and he's got a first down at about the 10-yard line of Barrington. Let's wait and see where the ball carrier marks the ball. Call it the 9-yard line of Barrington, a 3-yard gain for Bursa. It'll be 1st and goal for the Fremd Vikings. Clock stop with 9:35 remaining in the ball game, and Fremd trying to break a 14-all tie.
Well, the offensive line of Fremd there blew off the ball simultaneously and gave a big push.
Now re-entering the lineup as a back is Evan Rajapolis, 6'2", 222 pounds. Handoff to Rajapolis. First carry of the ball game. He's inside the 10-yard line. He's down at about the 7 after a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and goal for Fremd. Farrell back in the lineup, replacing number 28, Richard Cordova. He was lined up in the backfield as well. 8:50 and counting remaining in the ball game. This is for the lead in the Mid-Suburban League North. Fremd 14 at 6-0, Barrington 14 at 6-0. Rajapolis, Mackey, and Mitchell representing the wishbone in the backfield. Back to pass on 2nd and goal.
Oh, he's
rolling
open.
right is Bursa. Wide open is Farrell. Touchdown, Fremd. Hello. Wide open was Farrell. The only problem there was if Bursa was going to overthrow him, because there wasn't a Barrington defender within 5 yards of Farrell.
I was getting a little nervous there, too. I didn't know if he was going to hit him or not. He was wide open. I don't know what Bursa was waiting for.
20-14, Fremd has their first lead of the ball game with 8:31 remaining in the game. Farrell will hold for the extra point by Barton. Here's the snap, and the kick is good.
That was a big extra point, too.
It's now Fremd 21 and Barrington 14. The Vikings getting the ball as they force Barrington to punt in their own end zone. They set up themselves offensively at the 31-yard line. They got a couple of first downs. And then on 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line of Barrington, Darren Bursa rolled right and threw a touchdown pass to Farrell, who was wide open near the right side of the end zone for a 7-yard touchdown. There's Bursa. He's got 2 more touchdowns in this ball game. Coming into this game, Bursa had 7 touchdowns passing. He now has 9. Farrell receiving, had 2 touchdowns in the air catching the ball. He's now got 3. So Fremd has their first lead of the game. It's 21-14. Just over 8.5 minutes remaining in the ball game.
This is going to be a big test for the Barrington offense here to see if they can come back and put a drive together to make this a game. Well, we already got a game, actually, to make it even more of an interesting game.
McLaughlin standing at his 15 for Barrington, as is Bay. The Fremd fans are on their feet just below us, as are the Barrington fans on the other side. Here's the kick by Barton. Line drive caught by McLaughlin at the 16. Out over the 20 to the 25. Now over the 30, still on his feet before he's knocked down at about the 37. A 21-yard kickoff return by McLaughlin.
Good field position for him.
8:24 remaining in the ball game. Certainly it's not a panic situation for Barrington.
Absolutely not. There's plenty of time left.
They trail by a touchdown, 21-14. 1st and 10 now for Barrington. The ball at their 37-yard line. Trudeau now in motion. He's now to the near side of the field. Smith, the receiver, to the near side of the field. Cox to the far side of the field. Ball carrier out over the 40-yard line. That is Frederick to the 41, a 4-yard pickup.
In fact, Lee, I think that's a good point you just made. You know, this is certainly not a panic situation. They would only be defeating their own purpose if, in fact, they started to get flustered and thought that they had to do everything in just a few plays here. There's plenty of time. Stick to the game plan. Run the option. Throw in some passes. They've got plenty of time to score.
Trudeau, the tight end, in motion once again. Smith, the receiver, to the near side of the field. Cox to the far side of the field. On the option is Jensen. Loses the ball, and let's wait and see. There's a couple of Fremd players in front of us, but I do believe it went out of bounds at about the 43.
I think Barrington will keep it.
2-yard pickup, call it for McLaughlin to the 43-yard line. It'll now make it 3rd down and 4 with 7:36 remaining.
Yeah, Lee, on that play, it looked at, I don't know if we'll get another look at it, but it looked as if Jensen actually couldn't make up his mind if he wanted to keep it or if he wanted to pitch it. And therefore, what happened was he got caught in between, and they stripped the ball right out of his arms.
Big play for both teams, offensively for Barrington and defensively for Fremd. On 3rd and 4 for Barrington at their own 43. Jensen on the move. Jensen leaps over, and he is drilled at the 46-yard line by number 44. There's that guy again. He's a big one, Keith Lazowski, and I believe he is short of the first down by about a yard. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Still a pretty courageous run by Jensen, though.
Yeah, he used all of his body. He didn't care that Lazowski's a big
Well,
guy.
let me tell you, he came out of a lot of traffic too. I mean, there was bodies all over the place. If you have another look here, they avoided that guy right there and sacrificed his body by going into the air.
This could be, Roger, the play of the game.
This is it, Lee.
4th and 1 for Barrington at their own 46-yard line. Single receiver to the far side of the field. McLaughlin, the ball.
No, he didn't get it.
He's not going to get it. In fact, he loses a yard back to the 45. And look at Ross leading his defensive troops off the field. Are you a little surprised on that play call offensively by Barrington, Roger?
I don't mind the sweep play, but I don't know why you take it to the short side.
McLaughlin with that 1-yard loss now has 14 carries in the ball game for 34 yards.
It's not a bad call. You get a lot of blockers out there, but give yourself a chance. Take it to the long side, use up more of the field, and thereby hopefully creating a bigger hole for the back to go through.
Fremd with the ball now in Barrington territory at the Broncos' 45-yard line. Handoff straight forward to Lazowski. He's inside the Barrington 45 after a 2-yard gain to the 43. It'll be 2nd and 8.
By the way, Lee, we're still, I don't think, in a panic situation here for Barrington. I think the defense has to hold him here, though, and get the ball back.
They certainly would like to hold him on 3 plays, that is Barrington defensively, so they can get the ball back. We are now under 6 minutes remaining and counting left in this ball game. Fremd right now with the upper hand over Barrington, 21-14. Both teams coming in at 6-0 and 2-0 in the Mid-Suburban League North Conference, tied for first place. Hand off to Mitchell. Mitchell's inside the 40-yard line of Barrington and drags his way to about the 36, as Fremd's going to be about 1 yard short. No, make it about 2 yards short.
Well, we got a little eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth situation here. They got a chance to stop him right now themselves.
That was a 6-yard gain by Mitchell to the 37-yard line of Barrington. 3rd down and 2. Mitchell in the ball game now has 10 carries for 25 yards, good for 2.5 yards a carry. Big play again, this time offensively for Fremd and defensively for Barrington. Nearing the 5-minute mark, 3rd and 2 for Fremd at the 37.
Oh, there's a fumble!
And Barrington, no, I believe it looked as though number 50 of Barrington, that's Ned Villers, the outside linebacker, momentarily was going to get the shot at the fumble, but I believe Bursa got the ball back. He had to eat the loss back at the 42-yard line, a 5-yard loss. So Fremd will have to punt it. So Barrington defensively gets a break, and they will get the ball back. Clock moving, 4:35 and counting. It remains Fremd 21 and Barrington 14. Barton on to punt for Fremd, standing at his own 45. Back for Barrington, standing at his 12, is Bill Bay and also Spencer Thomas. Nearly a block and a fair catch taken by Thomas at the 12-yard line.
I think the crowd wants a roughing the kicker penalty.
Certainly appeared very close, but there was no flag. No harm done, says the referee. So now Barrington will have to march down the field, call it 87 yards, as they will have it 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line. Plenty of time. Again, not really a panic situation with 4:16 remaining in the ball game.
No.
Certainly they can't be real conservative, but they don't have to throw a lot of long passes right at this particular stage.
I was going to say, it's not a panic situation, but you certainly don't want to dawdle.
3 men in the backfield now. Jensen with the ball. And Jensen going to take it himself out over the 15 to the 16-yard line, a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Our next game, we will be at Palatine High School, the home of the Pirates, as we will see Jeff Eklinski and company for the 2nd time this year as Palatine host. But check that, we'll be at Buffalo Grove, I beg your pardon. Palatine will be at Buffalo Grove. That's the 2nd time we've seen both those teams this year.
That should be a dandy.
2nd down and 6 now for Barrington. The ball at their 17-yard line. Under center is Jensen. Hands off to McLaughlin. McLaughlin hit about the 19 and gets out over the 20-yard line. And he is down at about the 22-yard line, a 5-yard pickup for McLaughlin. It's going to be 3rd down and a short one. Every 4th down situation right now for Barrington, you would have to figure they're going to go for it. But I believe they do have all 3 of their timeouts. The clock is stopped now as we speak with 3:31 remaining. I'll call it a 4-yard gain instead of a 5-yard gain by McLaughlin. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for Barrington at their own 21.
They're also running that sweep to the short side, giving their guy a chance to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Sole receiver Smith to the near side of the field. Handoff to McLaughlin. He's close to a 1st down at about the 23, and I think his forward progress is going to give the Broncos a 1st down. We might need to see the chains come onto the field, but judging by where the ball is,
I think he's got
pretty close to the 24. Yes, in fact, it is a 1st down. 3-yard gain for McLaughlin to the Fremd 24-yard line. 1st and 10, Barrington Broncos. Clock stopped as we speak. 3:25 remaining in the ball game. Now it's moving. Fremd 21, Barrington 14. 5 first downs now in the ball game for Fremd. Offensively in the game, they have 146 yards. That is of total offense. Again, my thanks to our statistician for the 2nd straight week from Buffalo Grove High School, Richie Schwartz. He's going to be seeing his school next week. Back to pass on 1st and 10.
Oh, he's open.
The man is open. Oh, intercepted at the 43-yard line for the 2nd time in the game by Spencer Palmer. He could be our defensive player in the game should this score hold up. And the clock is stopped with 2:55 left. Huge interception by Palmer as Fremd now has the ball at the Barrington 43-yard line.
Well, if you recall, though, back in the last quarter, Spencer Palmer was turned inside out on that one play. Boy, has he gone from a potential heel to a complete defensive hero.
Jensen for Barrington has not completed a pass in the 2nd half. He is 2 for 9 for 95 yards.
Keep in mind, Barrington still has all their timeouts, though. There's still an opportunity for them to win this game, particularly with defensive plays like that right there, Lee.
Mackey is going to lose 3 yards back to the 46-yard line. Tackle made by the strong safety, Spencer Thomas. It'll be 2nd down and 13. To my knowledge, Barrington, as you were saying, Roger, as far as their timeouts go, I think they have all 3 of theirs left in the 2nd half.
They'll start to utilize those on defense if they have to.
I think if they stop him on a short gain here, that is Barrington defensively, they might use a timeout, and it would be 3rd and long for Fremd.
Absolutely. With just a little over 2 minutes, I think that makes sense.
2nd and 13 for Fremd. Ball to Barrington 46. Handoff to Mackey. Mackey is hit near the line of scrimmage, manages to squirt forward inside the 45, and he's down at about the 44. A 2-yard gain for Mackey. It'll be 3rd and 11. And in fact, Barrington does call, I believe, their first timeout of the 2nd half with 2:07 remaining in the ball game. Be sure you catch us this Monday night and every Monday night for Sports File with yours truly, Lee Anderson, as we feature some of the top athletes throughout the Mid-Suburban League. That is at 6 p.m. live, and we welcome your phone calls week in and week out at 577-3859 from 6 until 6:30. That's Sports File right here on Channel 13. And then, as we call it Sports Monday, we'll have on Bears Training 101 featuring the clips from the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers past games with our Bear analyst, that is Don Gerstein, and our Packer analyst, Ron Knutson. They certainly have a great time week in and week out, and they always agree, too, don't they?
Not.
The moderator, he's also a Bear fan, though, George Hallis. That is at 7 o'clock, and they also take your phone calls right here on Channel 13, Continental Cablevision.
There's Coach Samajedny hustling off the field.
Let's see if Fremd plays it conservatively now and does not air it out on 3rd down and 11 for the Vikings. The ball to Barrington 44-yard line. Faking the ball to Mackey and now running with his Bursa. He's in trouble. Makes a cut inside the 45-yard line and brought down at the 43 after a 1-yard pickup. And it'll now make it, I'll call it about a 2-yard pickup to the 42-yard line. It'll make it 3rd down and about 8 for Fremd. Check that, 4th down and 8. That'll be a punting situation now for the Vikings, as Barrington calls their second timeout. I think they use their timeouts wisely.
Well, they're down to 1, and more than likely they'll be utilizing that on offense. We've got, Lee, what do we got? We got basically 2 minutes left in the game.
There's plenty of time remaining. Barrington's going to have to hurry it up when they get the ball back offensively. They do have 1 timeout remaining. We're under 2 minutes left in the game. This is an interesting scenario that certainly we can only speculate right now because Barrington's going to have to march down the field quite a distance. If they do score the tying touchdown near the end of the game in the last couple of seconds, Roger, do you think, are they going to go for it to win it outright or play it safe, kick the extra point, and take their chances in overtime?
That's a tough call. I don't know. I believe you got to go for 2. That's just, I think that's kind of a personal thing, and that's entirely up to the coach.
Barton back to pass for Fremd, and there's a penalty flag on the field. Clock is stopped with 1:55 remaining. It's a penalty against Barrington. If it's offsides, that'll only be a 5-yard penalty, and it would still make it 4th and 3, and I would think that the Vikings would still be booting it away. Yeah, the penalty is against Barrington, an encroachment penalty. That'll move the ball up 5 yards inside the Barrington 40-yard line to about the 37-yard line. That'll still make it 3 yards short of a first down for Fremd. I think you still got to boot it away and back them up, hopefully for Fremd, at least inside their 20-yard line.
Yeah, they've got a chance to pin Barrington down. Should be able to do it, or they have a chance to do it inside the 10-yard line.
Spencer Thomas and Bill Bay standing near their own 10-yard line. Chris Barton, the punter for Fremd, right near midfield. And he would love to get a strong punt here. 1:56 remaining. They do put 1 more second on the clock following the penalty against Barrington.
Oh, no!
Barton's in trouble. He tries to pull it. What a nice play by Barton. It appeared as though he might have not anything and made the most out of it. Let's see where the ball went out of bounds.
Ball went out of bounds, almost hit some of our guys down there.
I believe where the official is standing at about the 20-yard line, it's going to be, right at the 19-yard line. That's a 31-yard punt. Considering that situation by Barton, that was a job well done by Chris.
Excellent job.
He could have saved them if he had to eat the ball 30 yards, and this could be very crucial on perhaps the last drive of the game for Barrington. 1:49 remaining, 1st and 10 for the Broncos in their own 19. In trouble is Jensen, and he goes down at the 11. A loss of 8, and he was tackled by big Keith Blazowski, number 44.
I don't know. Obviously, he didn't see number 21. Todd Smith was cutting across the middle. He was wide open.
2nd and 18 at the 11-yard line for Barrington. Clock moving. They don't want to use a timeout. They only have 1 left. Under a minute and a half for the ball game. Jensen rolling right. Throws nearly intercepted with 1:20 remaining by Chris Barton, the man who just made that sparkling punt for the Vikings and perhaps got them out of a hole that would have given Barrington the ball near midfield and instead backed them up inside their own 20-yard line.
Let me get another look at it. Jensen obviously feeling the pressure here. It was not a wise pass. He was actually very lucky, and the best thing to come out of that is it stops the clock for him.
Excuse me, Roger. That was 7 straight incompletions now on that incompletion by Jensen. 3rd and 18 from the 11. Down the right sidelines, and the ball overthrown, intended for Bill Cox. Well, it's going to come down to 1 play. Barrington needs 18 yards at least to get a first down, or Fremd's going to go 7-0 with 1:15 remaining in the ball game, and Barrington only has 1 timeout. Crowd hooting it up right below us for the Fremd Vikings. If Fremd wins, they are the leaders in the Mid-Suburban League North. They would go to 7-0. It's been a great ball game. Fremd leading Barrington 21-0. Score was tied at 14 at the half. Back to passes Jensen. He throws on the left sidelines, and the ball is broken up. Intended for number 7, Spencer Thomas, by number 48, Spencer Palmer. It was intended for Spencer and broken up by Spencer. Boy, as Palmer played a great game defensively. He has a couple of interceptions, and it looks as though, barring a miracle, that Fremd is going to walk away victorious in this game.
Great coverage there. It looks like they had playing kind of a combination zone man-to-man. Two defenders right on him. No chance of the pass being completed at all.
1:08 remaining in the ball game.
All they need to do is go down to a knee, drop to the knee a couple times. Barrington, I expect, will use their last time out.
Burson out. No, he doesn't go to his knee. That's surprising.
Maybe
Mackey has it inside the 5. He might score. And it's a touchdown. Mackey with an 11-yard touchdown run. I think that Barrington defensively was a little bit surprised at themselves. I thought they might have been thinking that Burson was going to drop to his knee. Instead, Mackey has an 11-yard touchdown run down the left sidelines.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. They looked as if they were perhaps a little bit confused. Mackey got good speed to the outside. We're going to get another look at it. Just your basic sweep left. Good block there by Lazowski out in front of him, clearing the way for him.
1 minute remaining in the ball game. 27-14. Fremd with the lead, and here's the boot by Barton, and it is perfect. 28-14. Well, if the score remains the same, as it's a 2-touchdown lead now for Fremd with a minute remaining in the ball game, it's not going to indicate how close this game really was.
No, I mean we talked about how surprised we were to see 28 total points in the first half, 14 by each team. But certainly in the second half, they settled into more of a defensive struggle. Certainly what we predicted before the game even started. And quite frankly, you know, even though Fremd scored 14 points here in the last closing minutes, the second touchdown, it almost is, I don't know, call it kind of like an empty net goal, and equating it to hockey, if you know what I'm trying to say.
28-14. The Fremd Vikings on top. Mackey had 4 touchdowns rushing in the Fremd win over Wheeling. He's come back with a couple of more tonight, so he has got a half a dozen touchdowns in the last 2 weeks rushing. Let's get Mackey's stats. Mackey now has 2 touchdowns rushing in the game, as I mentioned. Overall, 10 carries for 38 yards. Chris Barton will be booting away for Fremd. Back for Barrington deep once again is McLaughlin and Bay. Following the game, stay with us for our post-game show, as Roger and I will try to have interviews with both the victorious, as it looks right now, Fremd Vikings, and also the Barrington Broncos as well, right after the conclusion of this game. Ball taken at the 14-yard line by McLaughlin. He's got a hole out over the 35 and brought down at the 37-yard line by number 33, Ryan Schuer. A 23-yard return on the kickoff by McLaughlin. 54 seconds remaining. And this is a kind of situation where you just have to let it all air out. And
Hail Mary.
You get a pass interference play, or you burn one of the Fremd cornerbacks or free safeties very deep. 1st and 10 now for Barrington at the 37. Jensen now on the keeper. The quarterback over the 45, now into Fremd territory.
He didn't get out of bounds, though.
Fremd 49-yard line. 14-yard pickup by Jensen and a first down for Barrington. Clock is stopped with 34 seconds remaining in the ball game. First and 10 now for Barrington. Ball at the Fremd 49-yard line. Clock is now resuming once again, under a half a minute remaining. Throw, and it's complete by Jensen to Cox, as Cox is out of bounds at about the 46. Only a 3-yard completion. Fremd will give him those short gains. They don't want to get burned deep. 26 seconds remaining in the ball game. Barrington, it looks as though they had a valiant fight, but it looks as though their 6-game winning streak will come to an end. But certainly, they look like they're in line for obviously a state playoff position with 6 wins to start the season. Throw is complete to Smith. He's still on his feet.
And he got out of bounds.
Effort by Smith. 3 guys tried to knock him down, but he avoided to go down, did Smith, and he's out of bounds at the Fremd 35 after an 11-yard pickup. 16 seconds remaining in the ball game. 1st and 10 Barrington. Fremd leads 28-14, scoring 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to break a 14-all tie. Back to pass is Jensen, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage at the 36-yard line.
I think that'll do it, Lee.
That's going to do it, a 1-yard loss. Barrington will not have another play. The Fremd Vikings are victorious over the Barrington Broncos by a couple of touchdowns. Fremd is now 7-0 and 3-0 in the Mid-Suburban League North Conference. And Barrington loses their first contest of the year. They are 6-1, and they drop to 2-1 in the Mid-Suburban League North. Our final score from Fremd High School in Palatine. The Fremd Vikings remain undefeated with a win at home with a 28-14 victory over the Barrington Broncos. Stay tuned. Coming up after this timeout, Roger and I hopefully will have not only the victorious Fremd Vikings head coach Joe Samojedny and perhaps one of his players, but also the head coach of Barrington as well, Al Camrad, and perhaps one of his players as well. Once again, the final, it was Fremd 28 and Barrington 14. Stay tuned, folks, for this post-game show coming up right after this timeout. Back to Fremd High School in Palatine, Illinois, where just a couple of moments ago, the Fremd Vikings improved to 7-0 and 3-0 in the Mid-Suburban League North Conference with a hard-fought 28-14 win over Barrington. And with me is perhaps the defensive player of the game, senior cornerback number 48, Spencer Palmer. And Spencer, first of all, congratulations on a big win. And you had 2 interceptions in this ball game. The team is now 7-0, and your thoughts on this big win?
My thoughts are that we improved as a team, 7-0. I don't know, without my teammates, this wouldn't happen. Barrington's a good team. They played us real hard, as you see the score. Next week we play Hersey. We just got to go out and beat them. Score was tied at halftime. We just came out, we did our best. We got together, we did what we had to do. We came out and won.
What were your thoughts on the first and then a huge interception for your second one in the fourth quarter? And then, in fact, you broke up a late fourth quarter drive when Barrington was trailing by a touchdown, ultimately gave you the win.
Well, I don't know. They just kept throwing the ball my way. This game, and I didn't know really what to think about it. So I was just playing the best defense I could this game, because I never know when I could play again. So I just went out and played our hardest.
Congratulations once again. You got another big game in the Mid-Suburban League North Conference as you host the Hersey Huskies next week. And congratulations on a big win and also a great game individually in this contest.
All right, thanks.
That was Spencer Palmer, who had 2 interceptions in Fremd's 28-14 win over Barrington. We're going to take a brief timeout once again. And then when we return, Roger Simpson will have on the victorious head coach from the Fremd Vikings, Joe Samojedny. Stay with us on Continental Cablevision.
Hi, I'm Pat Smarko, the host of Through the Wire here on Continental Cablevision, reminding you that on October 20th, we're going to be welcoming back psychic Meldor. We had him on our show once before, and the response from our viewers was tremendous. I'm reminding you that it's going to be a live show once again, so be prepared to call in. Watch and call in Through the Wire live on Tuesday, October 20th at 6:30.